What's up, guys? Skartishu here, leading the Engine Company in another edition of Engine Company Gaming. This time, we're doing a Dark Knight 3.0 guide. Right now, Final Fantasy XIV just went into patch 3.07. Patch 3.1 is coming up soon. There were some Dark Knight changes in 3.07, but nothing too game-breaking or anything that's going to change a rotation or anything how you play the Dark Knight. If anything, it's a quality of life improvement and thumbs up. Anyways, for the Dark Knight, I definitely love it compared to the Paladin. The Paladin is a defensive monster. All right, it basically specializes in party defense, its own defense, has great raid utility, but crappy damage. And yes, they can keep up if they can keep Sword Oath up, you know, the whole time in long fights. Yes, they can keep up. However, where the Paladin suffers is it has no burst. There are a lot of instances in this new expansion in Heavensward where burst is essential. Take Bismarck Extreme, for example. You have to be able to go from constant DPS on the adds to getting on Bismarck's back and spiking your opener damage. You need to be able to do this. DPS need to be able to do it, tanks need to be able to do it, and healers need to be able to DPS as well. So that's where the Dark Knight comes in. The Dark Knight is a freaking burst monster. If you use your cooldowns effectively, you can burst at opportune times, bringing your DPS up and meeting those checks a lot easier. And that is why I went Dark Knight pretty much at the start, and then I leveled my Paladin afterwards, and then I'm back on my Dark Knight. I just needed that, how would you say, I needed that comfort of being on a Paladin, being basically shown again that, you know, I did choose right with the Dark Knight. There aren't a whole, I mean, there's a lot of people playing Dark Knight now, but there aren't a whole lot of guides, and that's why I wanted to make this video. Just a little background before we get into stats and all that. I have been tanking every MMO I've ever played. I mean, we're talking back RF Online, Final Fantasy XI, Rift, Terra, WoW, Warhammer. The list goes on. If you name an MMO, I probably played it, and guess what I played? A tank. So tanking is something that I know it intimately well. Each game has different tanking mechanics. So I'm not saying because you tank on another game, you're going to be great at tanking on Final Fantasy XIV. Every game has different tanking mechanics. But one thing that tanking mechanics and all these games have in common for tanks is aggro control, resource control, and party control. Now, the other two are self-explanatory, but party control. What I mean by party control is, as a tank, you set the pace. So when you're in a dungeon and you have a DPS that's never tanked in his life and he's telling you, oh, mass pull, you know your limits and you can push it. So you make the pace. And that is what I mean by party control. You control who they hit by marking. You control the pace. You control everything. With that being said, let's get into it. So, stats. Big thing with Dark Knights and stats is strength. I see a lot of Dark Knights out there stacking Vit. Stop. Just stop. You guys are... No. Be a man, all strength, and there's a reason for that. Is Living Dead is such a party drain. It is a super just drain on the healer. You pop Living Dead, they have to heal you for the 20k plus health that you have in order to save your life. Now, yeah, I stack Vit so I can live longer. You stack Vit so you die later. That is the expression for Dark Knights, and that is how I feel. Stack strength, be smart. You can mitigate a lot of this damage that for under 14k health, you can survive. It's easy. I mean, you have magic defense, you have normal defense, you have parry, you have all these different resources at your disposal to be able to handle without having a ton of HP. And that is the key. Do not stack Vit. Strength is your key. Next stat you want to stack is skill speed. Skill speed is extremely important. It helps you get through your combos a lot faster because the Dark Knight is all about speed attacking. Not about hard hitting like the Warrior or about critting like a Paladin. It's about getting through your combos a lot faster and getting them out there. The next one you want to stack is Determination. Determination affects your magic damage and your physical damage. That is important. a lot of your magic attacks can't really crit all that much. So why stack it? Stack debt so that you do more damage on those. So anyways, that's stats. That's how I feel. Skills. There are certain cross-class, you take your cross-classes from Paladin and Warrior, or Gladiator and Marauder. So definitely there are a couple cross-class abilities that are no-brainers. I shouldn't even have to cover them, but I will. You have to take Provoke. That is a must. Tank swaps, for DPS you pull off of you, all that. Provoke is a must. I don't have to cover it more. Convalescence helps your healing. Helps your Soul Eater healing. Helps your Abyssal Drain healing. Convalescence. Foresight increases your defense, which basically just increases the takes your total defense value and gives you 20% of that. Mercy Stroke is another off-global cooldown attack. You can take this if you'd like. I like it because if you get that with Soul Survivor, it's awesome. Bloodbath. Now, the thing about Bloodbath is, yes, it's nice, but it only affects your physical attacks, not your magical. So, Salted Earth doesn't give you healing, all that. So, I normally sometimes take it Awareness over Bloodbath because Awareness saves your life. I'm not kidding you. They actually added crits to bosses now to make Awareness a useful skill. They did this. They did this. Fracture. Don't take it. It's a TP drain. You already drained your TP enough. Don't take it. Do not take Fracture. The other skills are no-brainers. You don't take added other attacks and all that nonsense. Just don't. Alright? Be good. Be good. So, for your job, there are a lot of skills on here that need some explanation. So you have Grit, which is your tank stance. That is your actual stance. It does the same thing that Shield Oath does. It reduces damage taken by 20%, but reduces damage output by 20%. Dark Side, however, is not a stance. It is a buff. It drains your MP while giving you 15% damage increase. So basically, it almost nullifies Grit, making you the hardest damage hitting tank while main tanking. You do the most damage main tanking. Blood Weapon is awesome for Dark Side. It's an MP regenerator. It increases your attack speed. However, you cannot use it in Grit. Cannot be used in Grit. It's like one of the only abilities you can't use while having them both on. So Blood Weapon is pretty much for off tanking. Increases your attack speed by 10%. Dark Dance is your main, I would say your main defensive cooldown. It's on a 40-second cooldown, and it increases your parry. As well as Dark Mind. It's on a 40-second cooldown and increases your magic by 15%. Shadow Wall increases your damage reduction by 30%. Not 40 like Sentinel, 30% like Vengeance. Think of it like that. Now this is the skill I was talking about earlier. This is why you stack Strength. Living Dead. Okay? You don't need a ton of health. And the way Living Dead works, and it reads, you gotta heal 100% of your health. That doesn't mean you have to be healed to 100%. All it means is that your healer has to heal you for 100% of your maximum HP at some point in a fight. So just because you're taking damage doesn't say that they can't take the Walking Dead off of you. That's why Vit will kill you. Because if they have to heal you for 20k plus, they ain't healing somebody else. It's going to kill somebody else, or it's going to still kill you because they can't do it. That's why you stack Strength. Because 13, 14k, they can heal like it's nothing. Dark Arts is your main cooldown. Now, it costs a lot. You can only do about 3 to 4, but you don't want to do them in succession. You want to have some mana MP control in order to use it. Now, Dark Arts plus Soul Eater makes it a 400 potency attack and heals you for all that 400 potency. And Dark Arts plus Carve and Spit is 450 potency. That is your hardest hitting ability. It is awesome when you Dark Arts it. If you use it just on its own, it's just MP. Abyssal Drain is your AoE. However, there has been some testing going on the forums where Abyssal Drain versus Unleashed, as well as Dark Passenger, basically anything with Dark uses Dark Arts. Now, there's some identity crisis with Dark Dance. If you Dark Arts with Dark Dance, you get Evasion instead of more parry. You want to parry because you have Low Blow and you have Reprisal, which are based off of your parry. Your biggest MP regenerator is Siphon Strike. You do this in your regular comboing for your DPS combos. So use it. Yes, you will be using it. Blood Weapon is also another MP regenerator. And this is basically going into your MP control, pretty much. Blood Price is also another way of regenerating your MP by damage taken. It's kind of nice. Abyssal Soul Survivor is another way of regenerating MP. Basically, you put it on a mob that's about to die, just like Mercy Stroke, right? And when it dies, it heals you and it gives you MP. It's self-explanatory. I mean, it's basically a curse on the enemy that you want them to die, and then they die, and they give you things. They give you all the things so that you can continue. So that's good for clutch pulls when you're running low, or like in a boss fight, you're running low or something, and an ad comes. Pop that on the ad dies, you're healed. Woohoo! It's awesome with Mercy Stroke. In PvP, Mercy Stroke plus Soul Survivor is pretty much the ultimate slap in the face. I've had a paladin come up to me, thought he was going to kill me, and he got the 20%. I finished him off, and I healed back to full. It was pretty awesome, not gonna lie. Carven Spit does 100 potency if you don't use it with Dark Arts. Okay, but it also regenerates mana, but it's the same. It gives you the same amount Siphon Strike does. So using it for that, I slap you. Don't do that. Don't use it for that. Don't ever use Carven Spit for MP. Use it for damage because it's your hardest hitting ability. You should have enough MP every time Carven Spit's up to Dark Arts it, if you're doing everything correctly. Low Blow and Reprisal, like I said, are based off of your parry. Basically covering that again. That is your main defensive thing. Now let's get into some gear. Basically how you're going to optimize your gear. Yes, I'm in full 180 gear still. Like I said, I went to my Paladin for a while and I blew some SOs on it. So I'm not exactly happy. But gearing as far as accessories, that is the big thing. You want to do a 3-to-2 ratio. 3 slaying, 2 fending. Keep your vit down. Keep your strength up. That's what I'm saying. Don't do all vit. Alright, let's get into the opener. So we're here at a dummy because he's cool. And as the text will tell you, start with Salted Earth. Then go to Unmend, Plunge in, Hard Slash, Dark Arts, Siphon Strike, Carven Spit, Delirium, Dark Passenger, Scourge, Low Blow, Hard Slash, Spin Slash, Power Slash. Now, the reason why you don't start off with your Power Slash combo is because you want to do as much damage as possible in your opener. And trust me, you will generate so much aggro without doing your Power Slash combo. You don't need to worry about it. I've done it. I've kept it over Ninja's opener, over Monk openers, everything. You will be fine. I promise you. So, like I was saying, closing. Strength, skill speed, determination. No vit. Do a 3-to-2 ratio for your accessories. The reason for you want to keep your vit down, you want to keep your skill speed up, and you want to get some debt. Okay? When you're optimizing your gear with the raid gear and everything, you know, be aware of how much vit you're stacking. You do not want to go above, I would say, 16k on your health. Reason for that, again, is Living Dead. You're too much of a party consumer if you stack too much vit. So with that, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, thanks for checking out this guide video. Really appreciate every single one of you. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for hanging out.